Hey guys, Cam for 15 back out with another video for you guys, and I am back with another episode review of Flagrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. Yes, I missed yesterday's episode review for Flagrant Flower. Again, if you watched my Dress Up Darling review, I kind of clarified why I was out, but also too, I think a week ago, I said in one of our videos, that yes, some Saturday reviews will probably be delayed, and that's because I ended up going to Anime Impulse, which I think I have the yeah, I ended up going to Anime Impulse. Um, if I can, if my camera doesn't focus. Well, hold on, hold on. Yeah, Anime Impulse, as you guys can barely see it, right? I went to Anime Impulse yesterday with my yeah, well, that's me. With my co-host Red Wolf, who typically appears on the channel. And we ended up going to Anime Impulse, having a good time there. Got to meet some people in terms of, well, not meet some people, but got to see some good cosplays out there. We met one of our favorite voice actresses, the voice actress of Mirin Kitagawa, Uta from One Piece, aka Amalie. I ended up getting an autograph for her. My boy got a photo with her. Yeah. Anyways, that's why there was no Flagrant Flower Blooms Dignity review. So that's why you're getting it today, as well as the following reviews will be the thing. But man, what a really good episode! What an emotional episode of Flagrant Flower Blooms Dating. First things first, I want to get out the way now. Next month, Flagrant Flower Blooms with Dignity on Netflix, the official release, right, for the West is coming out next week. And again, I don't mean to rant on a really good show, but again, it just goes to show you how bad Netflix has bundled this whole thing up. So today on Twitter, I was scrolling before I was actually going to get in the shower and get ready for the day today. Essentially, what happened was that Netflix's account posted a clip of Flagrant Flower Bloom's Dignity, and it was a dub clip. Now, the dub voices for Karako and Rintaro sound fine right now. I got to hear more of it. Obviously, you got people in the comments section of the post talking about, oh my goodness, they're not really liking the Karako VA. I don't know if they announced who the VA is going to be. But look, I'm somebody that doesn't judge voice actors. Like, if people are gonna judge a freaking voice performance, like, I'm sorry, but like, I don't know, go get you a fucking hobby to do something else. Like, there's realistically nothing else I can fucking say. Like, these people legitimately pick apart any slight thing when it comes to how English voices are fucking done. But okay, if it's that big of a fucking deal, then I implore people to go, like, just stop watching the dub and continue watching the sub version. But regardless, on the post, the caption of it talked about how, hey, next month we're gonna be releasing Flagrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. Only episodes 1 and 2. Like, okay. It Netflix has just bundled and messed this entire show up, bro. Again, obviously, I watched Flagrant Flowers Bloom with Dignity off a pirated website, because that's my way to watch it, because I really wanted to watch the show. And I've been enjoying the show, like many other people that have been watching the show off pirated websites and been enjoying the show. The fact that we had to wait about 2 to 3 months for this show to officially come out on air, and the only reason why Netflix delayed it, is because they wanted the dub to come out the same time. Again, this goes to my whole point of saying, I don't know why the I don't know why Netflix just didn't decide to just upload the official release of the sub version and say, hey, okay, we wanted to do the dub version, but we'll delay the dub version for about a month or two, and then, but in the meantime, everybody else will get the sub version. No, they just said, no, you're not getting anything straight up. So we're on episode 9 now, going into episode 10 next week. And we're only getting 2 episodes. And I believe the show officially will drop next week. Now, why are they dropping only 2 episodes when they've had a month's, about 2, 3 months worth of content to dub? Like, legitimately, we should be at the least have the first 8 episodes dubbed, and then knowing Netflix's strategy, because they like to sometimes just drop binge episodes so you can binge it, why not have the first 8 episodes dubbed? You drop them on your freaking platform, you're a week behind, and then going forward, you drop the episodes and you're just a week behind. There you go, right? No, we're not going to do the smart, sensible thing. We continue to show that Netflix is still, albeit they've been, again, slightly better as of late, but again, it goes to show you that they still do not have the grasp of the anime streaming thing. They still don't. They still believe in this binge dropping format, are delaying the show to get all eyes on it. Regardless, yes, I understand, and I think I said this before in one of my reviews. Yes, there are going to be people that are more than likely dub only, and there has been reports, especially on Netflix's account, that saying like there is more people when it comes to anime that watch the dub content more than the sub content. That's fine. You know, if the demographics say, hey, more people are watching English dubs as opposed to the sub versions, that's fine. I still do think that Netflix, albeit despite those demographics, F it, bro. Just cater to your other audience that can wait for the dub version and say, look, I just want to watch the show, right? And I'll endure watching the sub version, right? You drop the sub version and release it weekly instead of just delay it about 2, 3 months, and then you come out with the dub version, and then albeit you're thinking, okay, maybe they'll just do a batch. No, they just given us the first 2 episodes like as if the show's just started out airing. And that's an immediate turnoff. Because at that point, what I'll just do on my end, because I did want to go back and rewatch the show in the dub officially, right? I'm just gonna wait till all the episodes are on the fucking Netflix. So what are they gonna do? Are they gonna do, these 2 episodes and then we'll get one new episode a week? At this point, you might as well do 2 episodes a week. Episode 1 and 2 this next week, the week later, 3 and 4, then 5 and 8, then 5 and 6, then 7 and 8, 9 and 10, and then I don't know if there's 13 episodes in this season. If there is, then it's 12 and 13. Like, if that's the plan, all right, fine. I guess I'll handle 2 episodes, right? Two episodes, right? So there's that, right? But again, like I said, it's the thing with this show that I'm just like, bro, this is absolutely effing stupid that they're doing this. And again, like I said, it kills the hype of any, whatever's left of this show. Obviously, the people that just watch it off the pirate websites, we're having a blast watching it. But Netflix has ultimately killed this fucking anime, and it makes me want it to the point where it's like, when this show eventually gets a season 2 announcement, I either want High Dive or fucking Crunchyroll to please take the licensing rights from Netflix. But they probably won't, because Netflix has more money to offer as opposed to those sites to stream the anime. But personally, if you ask me, I'd rather have one of those websites own the streaming rights to watch those animes. Shit, I would even fucking take it if Amazon fucking Prime were to do it and take their streaming rights, because at least with Amazon Prime, they're consistent with their animes of same day dub, same day subbed, and when they release the anime, they release the anime. But No, we're not getting that. So that's the thing. But other than that, other than my little mini quiet rant, this episode was great. This episode was phenomenal. So earlier, I know earlier past reviews, I did mention about Rintaro's friends finding out that he works in a cake shop, and this was kind of that episode. They go over to his house, and they find out he basically has a home near. His home is basically the cake shop, right? So, which may honestly making me think I might just drop by Cheesecake Factory and go get me a cheesecake. Anyways, um, so you just have it where Rintaro walks in, right? And his friends are obviously talking about what to do next and everything. And Rintaro walks in. He again, he acts a little bit differently, like from what like they said, right? And because of it, right? Since he's acting differently, they're like, I hope he's all right. But again, he's still reflecting over the date he had with Karako, and he just can't get her out of his head. Like, legitimately, he keeps thinking about her, keeps thinking about the date that they had, and the fact of like he wants to know, like, is she being happy, how she's doing in school. My man is in love, bro. My man's in love, and he doesn't know how to express his feelings, but you see the point. My man is completely 100% simping, right? But essentially, his friend's like, "Hey, man, is it okay if we come over to your house and hang out for a bit?" Now he's like, "Yeah, sure," and everything, and he does kind of give this unsure look, right? And his friends are like, "Hey, look, man, we don't have to go over to your place if you don't want us to go. Like, we completely understand. We'll respect your privacy." And he's like, "No, no, no, it's fine. I'll go do that," right? So so they end up going over to his house, right? And they go over and they see, and they're shocked, like, "Wait, you're you live at a cake shop and at a dessert spot?" And he's like, "Well, yeah." And they're like, "Bro, why didn't you tell us this any sooner, man?" And again, it goes and it shocks him because he's like, "What the hell?" Because again, he's had these fears like they would judge him and say like, "Oh, he's not this dude he I guess portrays to be. Like, what type of dude works at a cake shop, right?" Um, so I bet you it's only gonna get like other classmates of his to be like, "Hey, bro, Rentaro has a fucking cake shop as his home, like, and it's really good food, right?" So that's the thing, right? So then you have it where Rentaro's mom comes in. She's like, "Oh, hey, Rentaro, are these your friends?" And they're like, "Oh, wow, you're his mom?" And she's like, "Yeah, yeah, this is my mom." And they talk about how great the cake shop is and everything. So yeah. Anyways, Rentaro's mom's like, "Hey, why don't you guys go upstairs? I'll head up there in a second and help, prepare something for you guys, right?" So that's the thing. So they go do that, right? So Rintaro's mom goes in the back, right? And she tells the other employees, like, "Hey, I'm gonna head upstairs for a bit. Rintaro brought some friends over, and I was gonna go help, make sure they're all good and everything, make them some food and stuff like that. You guys good to hold them for?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, sure, that's great." And then one of the employees is like, "Wait, Rintaro's got friends? Wow, that's dope, man." So that's the thing, and obviously, because they're like, "Wow, I bet you get this all the time," but Rintaro's mom is like, this is actually the first time he's ever brought friends over. Anyways, the door opens, and then obviously it's Karako that shows up, right? So the thing is, they're chilling and everything. So Rentaro and his friends are upstairs, basically in their actual house. They're looking at photos of when he was younger. Oh man, excuse me. Oh man, I'm tired. When he was a kid and everything and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, Rentro's gonna actually head back down to tell his mom about something about maybe, about yeah. And then next thing you know, he's walking down the stairs. He sees Karako with Subaru and his mom, and he's like, Waguri?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry to intrude." And he's like, "What are you doing here?" Like, he's completely flustered, right? And basically, his mom's like, "Look, they just came by, because they were looking to get some sweets and they were looking to probably talk with you. So what the fact is, I decided to bring them up here. They're more your friends, right?" So that's the thing. Anyways, she makes them some good food. She makes them some food and everything, gives them like damn near a full course dinner right there. And she's like, "Hey, look, I'm gonna head back to work. If there's anything you guys need, don't hesitate. Come back down, let me know, and everything. But other than that, you guys, enjoy and have fun with each other, right?" So she leaves and everything, right? Which was cool, right? And it's like, wow, okay. So that's the thing. They, obviously Karuko's like, look, I didn't mean to intrude or anything, but and obviously my man is like, no, no, it's okay, it's fine, it's fine. And this is actually before this happened, right? Obviously before Rintaro's mom left. So Rintaro starts to get really flustered around her, right, around Karuko, and then I loved how the mom picked that up. She's like, oh, my son likes this girl, because she sees how it, because clearly the mom can see how red his face is getting, right? So then this kind of leads into the emotional part, and we kind of get some backstory about Rentaro, more backstory that was already established, or a little bit of established, right? So basically, we find out how why, so one of his friends has like, hey, I saw one of your photos, man. You had black hair, and he asks like, hey, why did you dye your hair, and then why did you get your piercings and everything, right? And Rentaro at first, it looks like he was gonna struggle to say the reason, and his friend's like, okay, hey man, if you don't want to tell us, look, you don't have to tell us or anything. And even Karuko's like, hey, you don't have to tell us, but I would like to find out, like, why too. So that's when Rentaro basically explains it, and he basically goes on to say, like, how in elementary school he didn't really connect with anybody because people thought he was scary and everything, and the fact that he really realistically had no friends. Oh man, excuse me. And because of it, it left him in a kind of a sad, depressed state all this time. But then, he went over to this restaurant, this like bakery restaurant with his family. We also find out he actually has an older brother, um, and stuff like that. Now we know he has an older brother, and we also know still has a dad. We haven't seen the dad yet, so I don't know if the dad maybe passed away or something, or maybe the dad is working another job where he had to move and live somewhere else while Rintaro's mom takes care of him, or maybe he just works a long ass 9 to 5 job and he comes back home late, after everything. So maybe it's potentially interesting if we're gonna see the dad and the brother. So yeah, but that was some revelations we find out, right? So they went into whew, this restaurant, and Rentaro said he saw this chef that had blonde hair and he had a piercing, and it looked like he was having fun, doing what he was doing, right? So this is when essentially, as they're walking out, Rentaro then asks, his family, like, hey, is it okay if I dye my hair blonde and get piercings? And he was thinking like he was going to get rejected, like his family was going to say, no, you're not going to do that, right? But his mom said, like, no, yeah, you can do that. Yeah, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do, right? And that's kind of the whole thing right then and there, right? So, it leads into a scene later into the scene where basically is like, his friends are like, I don't get it. Why wouldn't nobody want to be your friend and anything? Like, if I was there, I would have talked to you. Like, you're the best, man. Like, you're my friend and everything, And then Karako says basically something similar to that, of saying like, yeah, you're a great dude. You're a good friend. You mean a lot to me, right? You know, and you just have it to where the camera pans back and it goes to the stairway, and you just had it to where you see Rentaro's mom there listening, and she listened in on this entire conversation and listened to her son's story and everything. And you can tell like she got very emotional because of it, because then we get a flashback scene, where, his mom remembers, Rentaro saying like he has no friends and he's alone and he doesn't know what he wants to do and everything, but he said he'll be fine and he'll push through it. And his mom remembered this. And also at the time, his mom also had black hair. We then get a little bit fast forward after when Rentaro said like, hey, I want to dye my hair and get piercings. Rentaro's husband was, or Rentaro's husband, Rentaro's dad asked his mom like, hey, why did you decide to dye your hair blonde and do the piercings? And she's like, hey, I just wanted to do this for Rentaro because I want to let him know that I'm going to be here for him and support him no matter what. That's why, I didn't want to tell him no, he can't do it. I want to make it known like he can do what he freely wants, And that goes to show you like, no, his mom genuinely does care about him, and she genuinely was wanting to be there when her son was probably at his darkest moment. you know, and you know, a good way to connect with, you know, him is to do the same thing. And you know, that was kind of the thing of saying like, you know, I wanted you to, I wanted to be there for my son, right? Which is really caring of a mother to do that for, right? She then comes in, gives him some drinks and sweets and everything. No, actually not drinks, like a cake, like some cake stuff. And she's like, hey, I'm going to go and continue working, right? So yeah, and then that's when Rintaro comes over. He's like, "Hey, mom," and he literally thanks her like for what he's done, and he's like, "I'm gonna go hang out with my friends." So, and then as she's walking down, you can see like she's happy that he said that to her. Well, one, she was shocked when he initially said that, but then when she turned around and she's walking down the stairs, you could tell she was happy that he said that to her, but at the same time, very emotional, because it's like now she's realizing like my son actually has people that care about him, people that have friends to the point I don't have to worry about him going to school and maybe, you know, him not being having a connection. And that shit hit really hard with me, bro. And when I saw her start to tear up and cry, I'm like, fuck, man. Like I 100% feel it. Like I understand. Like she probably sacrificed a lot, you know, for Rintaro, and for her to basically do that, um yeah, for her to, yeah, for her to essentially admit that and everything, and now overhearing that, you know, clearly she can tell that her son's living a better life than he may have been living, you know, probably, I definitely would say maybe probably a few years ago. That's the thing. But again, that was great. And I did like the comment. She's like, obviously just because she's getting emotional and everything, she's like, I guess I'm just getting too old, right? I'm just getting too old. But I can only imagine, man, when, you know, he ends up, dude, because legitimately, I guarantee you, him and Karako are gonna get married. When I see the moment that, when she sees the moment that her son getting married to Karako, she might be bawling her eyes out. And lo and behold, I guarantee you when he's gonna say like, "Mom, you know, thank you for everything. I really truly love you and appreciate you for everything." She is going to lose it, bruh. I'm waiting for that moment when she legitimate when Rentaro at some point he's going to thank her for everything she's done, and in terms of letting him be him. She's gonna start bawling her eyes out and everything, and Rentro's gonna be the one to console her, and she's gonna be like, "If there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. Now I want to give back to you." So that was just a great moment, man. That was a great moment. I do think eventually we're gonna get a moment like that in the show between him and his mom, where when Rintaro is obviously a lot happier and everything, and his life is obviously, I still think his life right now is for the better, but truly for the better, as the show, probably the series would end. I can definitely see it where his mom is legitimately gonna have that balls out moment, and Rentro's gonna be the one to console her and saying like, "Hey, if there's anything you want me to do, let me know because you took care of me. Now I want to take care of you." So you know that's gonna be a great moment. It only makes Rentro's mom one of the more lovable mom characters in anime. Period. So yeah, but if anyways, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Flagrant Flower Blooms of Dignity content or any other anime content I upload to the channel and things like that. But till then, guys, I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video, and I will see you guys later. Peace.